G'day folks, the yabbying videos are back, I hope.
Hey you! You're watching Robbie Yabbying.
Today I'm going yabbying, but it's not for the first time this spring. I've been 3 or 4 times and haven't done any good. So this is about my 4th yabbying intro that I filmed. Hopefully today I can catch a few. Today I'm trying a totally different dam, one that I've never yabbied in before. It's a small forest dam. I'm going to be using 2 drop nets and 3 open top lift nets. The plan is to put the drop nets in first, then set up the open top lift nets and put them in. By that time, these will have had a good quarter of an hour and I can do the impatient check on these 2, and then I can leave them in for some lengthy soaks. I've got venison for bait in both of these 2, and the open top lift nets are going to have chicken drumsticks. Right, let's bait them up and get them in. Right, so I've got my first 2 drop nets baited up, ready to go. Got to be careful where I put my feet here. There could be a few double-headed gobble gators just slithering around the edge of this dam. I kid you not, I've probably been yabbying at least 3 or 4 times this spring, and I haven't caught a single yabby. It's just been really slow. I think the cool start to spring has just made for a slow start to the yabbying. It's been one of the coolest starts to spring that I can remember. We've only had 2 or 3 days over 20 degrees and it's the middle of October. Normally we're getting a few 30s by now. It's just been crazy cool. Check out this stick that I just found. Using a stick to lower your net in can really help to ensure that it sits nice and flat like that. Right, it's time for the big nets, the open top lift nets with chicken drumsticks. This is number 1. Net number 2 has 3 chicken drumsticks, and they can go in the corner here. Net number 3 can just go in out here. Right, now there's the dam. It's only a small dam, it's only a couple of feet deep. The water's quite clear, which isn't always good. If there are yabbies in here, these forest dams generally tend to have quite dark yabbies, and they usually either have big black yabbies, a few big black yabbies, or lots of small black yabbies. But anyway, all 5 nets are in. Now, it's only been about 5 minutes since I put these drop nets in, so I'll give them another 5 minutes or so before I do my impatient check. 5 minutes is even too short for my level of impatience. Right, it's been about 10 minutes since I put these 2 in. It's time for the impatient check. I love it when I catch yabbies on the impatient check. Just love it when I catch yabbies. The last ones I caught were in August of all times. Anyway, have I done any good? Is this net any? Is this dam any? Yes, 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 I've caught one. And he's a nice one. You beauty. The impatient check. I love catching yabbies on the impatient check. As I expected, out of the forest dam, it's very, very black. Folks, the yabbying videos are back. You beauty. He's not big, but he's not tiny. I wouldn't mind a dozen or so real big ones for a feed, or a few real small ones for bait. I'll keep this one, but if I can upsize, I'll put him back. I'm on the board. Now, I might just check this one before I throw the other net back, just so the splash doesn't make it. Yes, 2 more, 3 more. Yeah, I nearly lost that one. 3 more. My God, I've hit the jackpot. 3 more and a few minnows. Minnows are good because that's a sign that the dam doesn't dry up. It's only a shallow dam, and being that it's a wet spring, yes, you beauty. I'll put the nets back in and then I'll give you a good look at me catch. I am so excited. After a string of no yabbies, it's good to finally be catching a few yabbies again. Let's observe my catch. People sometimes ask me what's the best way to keep yabbies. These foam containers are the best. I think Loretta might have got this one at Arnold's in Wodonga. She bought some meat or something, or some fruit or something recently, and they packed it in here for her. Look at that. 4 nice yabbies on the impatient check. You little ripper. Now, I'm not greedy. That size there, I wouldn't mind maybe 18 or 19, maybe 20 or so. That'd be it. If I can get bigger, which I know they can get bigger, if I get bigger, well, the smaller ones will go back. A dozen or so really big ones would be ideal. And a few small bait ones if I get any. To be honest, I don't care what I catch. I'm just so excited to be catching yabbies again. So good, I love this. Love it. On the way down here this morning, I swung by the post office and there was a parcel for me. I'm expecting something from 2 people, but it was from neither of them. It's from Tackle Club. Let's open it up and see what's in this month's Tackle Club box. Obviously this isn't a Tackle Club video, I'm not going to be able to use what's in it, but I want to open it because I want to know what's inside it. We've got freshwater trout and redfin box. Let's have a look. We've got a little Christmas flyer. It's got the code on the back to scan to go onto the Tackle Club e-mag. We've got a sticker. Right, what have we got? I'll go to that last. Oops. We've got a Pontoon 21 Gaga Goon. I have actually caught trout on these in the past. They're an excellent lure, absolutely brilliant lure. You will struggle to find a better trout or redfin minnow than that one there. Everything by Pontoon 21 is good. I haven't used the Gaga Goon for probably 10 years, but when I did, I remember I really liked them. We also have a Berkeley Protect bent minnow, a Bender 76. That looks pretty cool. I saw Shroom on one of his videos recently catching saltwater fish. I think they might have been whiting or something on a bent minnow. Awesome work. We have a Volt 42 blade. These are an outstanding blade. Excellent for trout, redfin and yellow belly. I've caught a lot of trout on these. Blades are without a doubt one of the most underrated trout lures on the market. We have a Berkeley Shimmer fork. That's a pre-rigged weighted soft plastic with a fork tail and a couple of sets of treble hooks. That looks really good for redfin, but I'm sure you'll catch trout or yellow belly on that as well. And we have some Damiki F-grubs in motor oil red. I've caught a lot of redfin on Damiki soft plastics many years ago. Excellent lures. And there's that barcode again. Scan your screen now. Somebody told me recently that that actually did work. Right, Pure Fishing Bender, the bent minnow, $16.99. Pontoon 21 Gaga Goon, $21.99. They're always a little bit dearer because they're very good quality, the Pontoon 21s. Damiki F-grub 1.5 inch, $8.99. Damiki Volt 42, $13.99, and the Shimmer Fork 65, $14.99, for a total value of $76.95. Or if you buy it as a subscription, if you buy it through Tackle Club, it's $49.99. Now remember folks, this is the October trout and redfin box. If you go online now to tackleclub.com.au and order the November Tackle Club box, it will be different. They vary each month. That's the whole plan. That's the whole idea of Tackle Club. It's like a lucky dip and you never quite know what you're going to get. But one thing you can rest assured on is that every single month you're going to get excellent value. And that says it all. Awesome work. tackleclub.com.au and $49.99 a month if you use my discount code Robbie10 for once-off purchases or Robbie10S for subscriptions. You'll save yourself 10% again, which makes it about $45. That's a whole lot of lures for $45, especially when the Pontoon 21 is worth $22 on its own. You beauty. Right, now it's almost 11 o'clock. These nets have had about 25 minutes each, I suppose. Now the sun's come out and it's feeling quite snaky, so I've taken my hiking shoes off and gone with the gumboots. Right, tell you what, I have got a huge amount of excitement at the moment. I'm feeling so pumped after catching those couple on the impatient check. Yes! 3, 4. Right, now that's a big one. You beauty, I have hit the jackpot big time. Here's a nice one. He goes in the esky. That's too big for bait. Too big for bait. Too small to eat. He goes back in the lake, the dam. Same with that one. And same with this one. Not big enough. In some dams he might be okay, but in here, when I can get them that size, well then quite clearly that's not big enough. You ripper! So pumped. Is there any more big ones? I always put my foot on my float, so when I throw the net in, I don't throw the float in with it. Any in here? 2, 3, 4, 4 again, 5. Here's too small. Here's too small. He's, given the circumstances of the nature of this dam, too small. But I reckon these other 2 might be okay. I'll check them for eggs. No cackleberries. They're not monsters like the other one there, but they're okay. Having a blast. Haven't even completed my first full tour of the dam. Still got 3 more nets to go yet. I think that went the right way up. I was going to say this is my best yabbying trip so far this year, but it's my only successful yabbying trip so far this year. Like little 1, 2, 3. These are all a bit too small. I'll put these ones back. I only want the big ones. He's probably about as big as I'd like for yellow belly. Any bigger, and it's too big. I prefer them a bit small, but I'll throw them back. He can go back too. It's clearly not a good bait yabby dam because they're just a bit on the large side. Come on. He can go back as well. And there was 1 in this last time. This time, none. This had 3 in it last time. This time, none again. I wonder if the venison loses its effectiveness after a bit. I might just dig my thumb into the meat a bit and make it bleed. So I can get a bit of smell out of it. Check that out. It's taking a time lapse of the clouds going past the trees up there. That's the biggest one so far. A dozen of them and I'll be wrapped, and I've already got 7. I've kept 7 and probably thrown back a similar amount of smaller ones. I have hit the jackpot. Like I said at the start, as I expected, coming out of a forest dam, they're very, very dark. Time to check them again. It's been a bit over half an hour. Been a little bit longer than last time. Now the record so far today is 4 in 1 net. Can I beat that? Oh, that one was on the outside. There's 4 in there again. There was 5, but one was on the outside. He was probably just on his way in. He's too small, well and truly. These ones are all okay. I'm going to put all these in. I've decided I want to keep a dozen. Let's check that they've got no eggs. Once I've got my dozen, then I'll upsize, which means that 1 in, 1 out. Right, I've got, including what's in the esky, and then I've got 10. I've kept 10. So I'll keep 2 more, and then I'll just upsize. Every time I get a bigger one, I throw a smaller one back. I'll put it over that way a bit more this time. Gee, that's nearly near the other net, isn't it? Well, only a small dam. That's why I'm only keeping a dozen yabbies. There's no point over harvesting the dam and making sure that it's not worth visiting again. Well, now 4 seems to be the number of the day, doesn't it? Seems to be 4 in every net. This one's only got 1 in it, I think. Oh no, it's got 3. They're just all in the one spot. And none of them are really big. Too small. Yeah, I think I can do better. Too small. Too small. Haven't got any with eggs. Haven't caught a single yabby with eggs. Oh, look at the size of them ones. A couple of monsters. You beauty. There's 3 again, but one of them's too small. That's a no. Ow! It's got me on the finger, mate. Tell your story swimming. But these ones are quite, well, not monsters. This one's a nice size yabby though. You'll be out here. Nice big yabby. A good yabby. A good yabby. A good yabby. Yes. Bit of water on the lens there. I'll wipe that off. Beautiful. That's me 12. I've got me dozen. Now it's time to upsize. Oh, now it's time to check the droppies. Neither of these nets had anything in them last time. I've got one this time. 2. You can go back. Remember, I'm only upsizing now, so I only want a dozen. It's called being sustainable. Taking just what I need and not taking heaps just for bragging rights. Right, he'll go in. Put the bigger one in. The smaller one goes back. I'll check this other net before I throw that back in. Then I'll put them back in together. Nothing in this one. Oh no, I'll get me stick and put them back in. I've got me dozen. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I've got 12. I've got an even dozen. That's all I want. So in all my yabbying from now is just to upsize. Try and get a few bigger ones. If I can get some bigger ones, then the smaller ones of these, which is probably around that size, they'll go back. This is so awesome. So excited. I've got muscles on my muscles. Well, they are a little bit flabby, but that's okay. They're strong enough to help me catch a yabby. Next time I pull my net up, I'm going to catch at least 10. That's it for this poem. That's it. All over. This is the end. When you watch this poem, you thought you'd laugh, I bet. But personally, I think this is my best bush poem yet. Right, it's time to go and check the nets again now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the smallest yabby that I've got out of my collection, which is probably going to be that one, I reckon. I reckon that's the smallest one. So that when I catch, or if and when I catch any yabbies, I've got a basis for comparison. Mate, if I can catch a bigger one than you, you can be set free. Now, I almost had 5 in this net before, but one was on the outside of the net, remember? There was 4 in and 1 out. I've moved the net out. Whoa, a big one on the outside. Did you see that? There was a huge one on the outside. And 4 big ones inside. Well, mate, look at that. You can go, and I'm gonna keep these as well and see if I can upsize any of the other ones in the esky. This one might be able to upsize another one, but this one will be able to, because that's quite a big one. I'm sure there's smaller ones in there than that. Boy, have I had the jackpot coming to this dam today. This one can go over there a bit further this time, a bit more to the right. They keep standing on the outside of the net. 4 still the record. I think there's only 2 in here, I think. 2 in here. One's quite large. I don't reckon he'll be upsizing anything, so we can go back. He might be able to upsize something, so he'll upsize that one. He'll upsize the smallest one from the last net. I can't tell you in words how good it feels to be getting back onto some yabbies again. One big one. Here's a big one. I'll put that in there and then I'll go and see if you can upsize anything. Right out in the middle. Right, droppy number 1. One little one. Look at that. One small one. See you later, mate. Right, last net. It's only just there near the edge. And nothing in it. I'll put it out a bit further this time. Well, it's time to do some trading. Oh yeah, look. He's way bigger than that one. So that one can go back. Here's a smaller one. He is bigger than that. That one goes back. This one's bigger than most of them. Look at that, much bigger than this one beside it. That one goes back. And look, I think I'll just keep 13. I can't choose one to replace them if they're all quite large now. I said I'd keep a dozen, well, I'm keeping a baker's dozen. I just changed it. I just moved the goalpost. Right, it's time to go around the nets for the last time. I'm pulling them out now, so I'm going to be undoing the string and pulling the bait out. Oh, once again, there's one on the outside. Look at that donkey of a yabby. The last 3 times I've checked this net, there's been something on the outside. Look at that big kahuna. He's going home. He's going back. I thought to myself, I'm probably not going to be keeping any from this trip because I've got a dozen big ones. But that one's huge. I think it's the biggest yabby so far today, so I'll take that as well. I'll take a baker's dozen plus one. Now the meat, I'm just going to throw that back in the water there, and that'll fatten up the yabbies that are left. And there are a lot left because I've only taken probably about 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 of what I've caught. Gee, that's a big yabby. That is a ripper. Nothing in this one. Look at that, not one. That's the first time today I've kept an open top lift net and had nothing in it. Oh, another one on the outside of that too. One in the net and one on the outside. Little bait yabby this one, but you can go back. See you later, mate. Now for the droppies. I haven't actually caught any of the real big ones in the drop nets today, I don't think. There's 2 in there. A minnow. Hang on, I'll get rid of the yabby. That's a nice little bait size yabby. And he's too small to keep. I've got enough anyway. There's another one in here. Shit, nearly bit me on the finger. There was 3 in that then. Another little bait one. I was going to hold up one of the minnows and show you, but they absconded. Alright, my last pull for the day. My last check, and nothing. Wasn't actually sitting on the bottom. That was a bit of an anticlimax. Have a look at that. Well folks, I ended up keeping 14. I went a couple over my self-imposed limit of a dozen. I kept 14, but I probably threw back 40 or more yabbies. That's quite sustainable. I've had an absolute blast today, and it is so good to be getting back onto a few yabbies. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my little bit of bush poetry. If you did enjoy the video, why not give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.